Black History Facts.
What's up, everybody? It is the AM, and your girl is headed into work. I'm feeling all right this morning, much better than yesterday, and we gonna go in here. We just gonna do what we need to do. Not a lot going on this morning. I have been thinking about like what my next story time is going to be. I don't know what that is. I went to, and I picked up this like plain vanilla creamer the last time, and I was really trying my best to just use it till it was gone, but it is so nasty. It tastes like cardboard. It makes my coffee taste weird. And then my husband does hazelnut, which I put hazelnut in my coffee to try to get away from the cardboard taste. And the hazelnut creamer, I don't like it because when I taste the hazelnut in my coffee, doesn't matter what brand it is, it tastes like dish soap. It's nasty. So the only creamer that I really care for is the cinnamon vanilla. Love it, love it, love it. And I think what I'm probably going to have to do is grab me a few bottles and then freeze it. And then that way, you know, as I'm running out or whatever, I can just I was like trying to get my cinnamon vanilla in the house so that when I ran out of the nasty vanilla that I could go ahead and start using my cinnamon vanilla. But they didn't have any. They only had, the only flavor that they had that I was willing to drink, because they had that Italian cream and all that, just to say that I have a different creamer in my coffee this morning, which is so nothing information, useless. So I was trying to think of a story time. So I just thought of something. When I say useless information, I came up with the perfect story time. So I graduated from Madison High School in Houston, Texas. Go Marlins. And when I was in the 10th grade, I wound up in a math class with a well, actually I was in ROTC. She was also in ROTC. I joined the drill team, and at some point she took over the drill team, and then I took over the drill team after her. So she and I were best friends for years. After that, you know, and we stayed in touch. We lost touch. You know, she got married. She moved away. Although we were the same age, she wound up graduating a year before me, because she got put up at some point, I think, like in elementary school. And so she wound up graduating a year before me. And I was so sad because we were having such a good time. She was my only true friend. That was my girl, my best friend, Christy LaShawn Moore, and she'll tell you that's her whole name. She used to have this saying, you know, when people tried to boss her around or say things to her that she felt like, you know, they were out of place for her, she would say, I don't see Isabella Moore sitting around. I don't see Isabella Moore around here anywhere. And that's her mom. I call her Mama Bell. And she was like, you know, I used to always tell people that her mother's not here, so, you know, they don't have a right to talk to her like that or whatever. She has very, very strong personality, even in her illness. And I love her so much, and I miss her so much. But we didn't meet my freshman year. We met my sophomore year, and we wound up in algebra class together at some point, Miss Ross' class. And we stayed in trouble because I think I was just a bad influence, because she was a very good student, you know, and she wasn't, you know, extremely talkative and things like that until she and I got hooked up. So Miss Ross threatened to separate us on more than one occasion because she felt like we was just talking way too much in her class. We got to listen. And it was funny because Miss Ross used to try to embarrass her by calling on her. I don't think she might have done it one time to me, but when she met my dad, she used to get me in other ways, because what she used to do to Christy was she would call on Christy when she caught us talking for the answer, and Christy would answer the question correctly, and then she would look at her like, and what? It was so funny because she was trying to catch her off guard, and I have no idea still to this day how she used to do that. So she wasn't being like smart alecky or whatever, but she was letting her know that although she was talking to me, because sometimes she was talking to me because she was trying to help me understand the material, so she wasn't just having like idle conversation. And yeah, granted, we probably were doing things the wrong way, but we weren't always just sitting in there chit-chatting for no reason at all. Sometimes she was, trying to help me understand what she was saying as Miss Ross was teaching the lesson. So when she would call on her, she was already in the midst of explaining to me what was going on, so she knew the answer because she understood the problem. So anyway, the way that she used to get me is, I think one like parent-teacher conference. Not, is that what they call it? It's like when you go to from classroom to classroom, meeting the teachers and stuff like that. So at one point, in the beginning of the school year, when they had that, my dad came up there. Now, it was very difficult for my dad to do stuff like that because my father was a single parent, raising 2 girls and a boy, and most of the time he worked 2 jobs. But this particular time, he was actually able to make it up to the school, and he went around and he met our teachers and stuff like that, because my brother, the one that's right above me, he's 2 years ahead of me. So when I was a sophomore, he was actually getting ready to graduate. He was a senior, and my sister was right behind me as a freshman. So there was only like a brief period that we all were in school at the same time. So he came up there and he met all my teachers and everything. And when he met Miss Ross, they immediately bonded. And of course, she had to out me and talked about how, I was a talker and things like that. And so, my dad, he was very stern, had that face. He looked at her and told her, well, if you have any problems out of her, you don't hesitate to contact me, blah, 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 right? So he did the whole spiel. So that was her thing. So after she met my dad, if me and Christy was talking, or if I wasn't doing as well as I should be in class or whatever, she was like, don't make me call your daddy. You know how we do. So I was like, oh my God, I hate that she met my dad, because after that, I'm going to tell y'all, even when I was not in Miss Ross' class, she was still talking about don't make me call your daddy whenever she saw me around campus. And I'll never forget the last time I saw Miss Ross, one of the things that she said to me was she treated me like that because she saw so much potential in me, and she didn't want me to get caught up like she see a lot of these other students, get caught up, with the boys and, whatever. And so, because I dated this guy, my first boyfriend in high school, and he wasn't right. He wasn't right at all. But he wind up breaking up with me to go with this girl named Joy. I still remember her to this day, because what she used to do was she used to prance around and she would kiss him all in front of me and everything. And it was hard because that was my first boyfriend in high school and all that, and I was jacked up over that whole situation. But what happened, she was loose. She used to sleep around, and she wound up getting pregnant for this guy who went to another school, and because of that, he wound up breaking up with her, and El Stupido took him back. So my best friend, she was not happy with that situation. She was very upset with me. She felt like I should have left him alone. She was not feeling him at all. So anyway, that was my girl. And the reason I thought about that story was because I wanted to tell y'all about how I met my current best friend. My best friend these days, like, I have best friends all the time. And I know that's a weird term for an adult to use, but he's probably the closest person to me besides my kids and my husband. I met him in 1989 when I had my first meeting for New Power Houston. So New Power Houston was the only, I have not heard of any other Prince-based fan club established in the city of Houston before or since I established New Power Houston. New Power Houston was the Prince-based fan club that I created, and I wanted us to be different by doing community service and getting involved with the community and trying to help people and things like that. And all of this stemmed from Prince's nonprofit organization that he established for my take called Love for One Another. And at my first meeting, Chris, who's my best friend now, came to the meeting. Let me just put it to you this way. This boy is a ride or die. This man, he's a ride or die. Because this was in January of 1999. Chris is still involved in anything that I do. And he's involved in my family. I'm involved in his family to this day. This is 2017. That was 1999. So you think that's 18 years ago, right? Yeah, we've been rolling since then. So I met him at that time, and Chris has been very involved, like I said, in everything that anytime I say I want to do something, he right there. He don't care what it is that I ask of him. If he's capable of doing it, he does it. And let me tell you something. This is also somebody who knows some of everything. If he don't know the person directly, he got so many connections that if he don't know the person directly, he knows somebody who knows somebody. And I started laughing about the useless knowledge, because one of the things that Chris has this thing about, when something excites him, he'll say stuff like intriguing. Man, that's intriguing. And he'll go, oh my God, like that. And it is hilarious because he is so for real in how he expresses himself. He's very genuine. He's very sincere. Chris ain't got no time for games. Chris, he loves people, and he loves, trying to help people and things like that. And Chris is for real. So, anywho, yeah, he does this thing. And then he's always been the kind of person that he'll say something. I'll be like, why do you even know that? And he'll like, I don't know. I just read. He reads a lot. He listens. He connects with people. He obtains information, by just your standard methods, but he does it, and he learns things, and you find out that he know these things in some of the weirdest times, because we'll be having conversations and something, strange will come up, and he'll be like, you remember the little boy from Jerry Maguire where he said the human head weighs da 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 da? That's Chris. It's like, why do you even know that? So I just think it's funny. So this story time is dedicated to my best friend Christopher Williams, and I do this thing because in Under the Cherry Moon, this old lady, Prince was out there cutting up, and he, messing with these women and stuff. And so the lady said, Christopher, when are you gonna come see me, Christopher? So sometimes when I'm messing with Chris, I'll go, Christopher, like that. And he just crack up laughing. And so another tidbit about our relationship is that, we are both huge Prince fans, obviously, if that's how we connected. And so one time we went, I can't remember where we went, and we were, everything was wrapping up, and we were standing at our cars, and we were just talking about how much fun, it might have been a concert, how much fun we had. And because whenever tickets went on sale, I'm on the phone, Chris is on the phone, whoever get the tickets first. It's like we just getting tickets enough for both of us to go, so we can go together. And anytime we went to a concert, we wanted to go together. We don't care about nobody else, because we was gonna jam, we was gonna rock out, and we was gonna have a good time. So this particular time, something happened, and we went to this event, and after the event, we were standing at the car talking, and I'll never forget, Chris, he had the door open, and he was talking to me because I was going to get in my car. Chris was like, come here. So I came over. He cranked up the radio. One of Chris's favorite songs is Thieves in the Temple. He loves that song. And he cranked that song up, and he was just going at it. And I thought that was so funny, because Chris don't care. Chris just be singing. He is off the chain. I'm telling you, he is so much fun. I'll never forget the very first concert he and I ever went to together. we dragged my husband, and Prince was, I believe he was in Hawthorne's Pavilion then. I don't remember what concert that was, but I know he was at U of H in Hawthorne's Pavilion, and my husband was standing between the two of us, and Prince came on stage, and me and Chris started screaming and hollering. My husband got both ears plugged because Chris is screaming in one ear, I'm screaming in the other ear. We all over my husband, screaming and hugging each other and high-fiving, and just, we were so excited. It was hilarious because my husband didn't know what to do with himself. I said, and I told my husband and Chris after the concert, me and Chris both agreed. We was like, see, that's why we don't need nobody else, because he couldn't even get into the concert good. And I'm like, we looking at him like, what is wrong with you? Do you not realize this is the man? This is the man. You should have just stayed at home. It was so funny because we was having such a good time. But yeah, anybody who know me know I done left my husband and my kids in Dallas to take a red eye to Las Vegas to go see Prince. I have seen Prince in the Compact Center when it was a Compact Center, Hawthorne's Pavilion, over at the Toyota Center, anytime. And this is, Prince used to have a music club, and if you were a member of the music club, the tickets would go on sale long before anybody else even knew that the tickets were on sale. So like the members of the music club got first dibs. So I would pay whatever it took for us to get like the upfront seats. And then I would contact, if I was able to get through first and get the tickets, I would call Chris and be like, I got the tickets. So he wouldn't have to try anymore. If he got the tickets, then, we would go just on his tickets, and I didn't have to try anymore. So yeah. So that's my story time, talking about my best friends, some things that we used to do and stuff like that. And so we haven't really been as active as we used to these days because, he's a granddaddy now. He has a daughter. She's the only child, and she has had 2 kids, and being a grandfather and working and living his life has just been keeping him busy. He is single. Well, he's dating, but he's not married. But he's just an awesome guy. So anyway, I love you, Chris, and I dedicate this story time to you. You take care. Call you later. Bye.